doing a little running around, running some errands. So before I go live with cousin Steve, I'm going to watch a new video from the lovely Vanessa Sumaniana. So it's supposed to be precise AF, supposedly, according to the title. So there we go. Let's check it out. We got some hot soup here.
Hello, all my beautiful
Hello,
and welcome
hello.
back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa Samaya,
Definitely
and
not.
I'd like to welcome you into the fam. Guys, today's Pick a Card Tarot reading is one I've been so excited to create for you. In today's predictions, we're going to be figuring out how your love story is going to play out.
My
And
love
what makes
story.
this video so special and highly personalized is that you not only get to pick from 4 groups, but once you've received part 1 of your prediction, you get to scroll down into the description box and click your zodiac sign in order to receive the second, even more
I love the
intricate,
double
detailed,
ones.
and personal part
She goes into
of your
super
love story
detail.
reading. And you guys, I'm not sparing any details. During part 1 of your prediction, we will be talking about their job, their zodiac sign, what they look like, their age, their dress style, their dating history.
Wow.
And during part 2, which is zodiac based, we will be figuring out the letters of their name. We'll figure out when you will meet them, where you will meet them, and how you will meet your person. And of course, if spirit and your guides
Crazy
are
how
giving us any
she
additional
can do all of
information
this.
about other situationships, that will all be included within your individual readings. So before I introduce you to the 4 groups and get into your love story readings, I just want to get some of this information out of the way right at the start of the video. You guys, oat milk chai tea in the morning is just, it's like a warm hug. If you're single and you're watching this, just try it out. You won't regret it. You guys
Milk
always
chai
ask me
tea,
where I
eh?
get these
I'll have to
gorgeous
check it
crystal
out.
rings from. Well, they're all from Bow Life Switzerland, which is my brand and company. It's linked below in the description box. And some of the decks used within this reading, such as the Wild Muse Oracle deck and a few others, are actually decks that I have self-published.
Cool.
You can find those on my website as well. They ship worldwide, and you guys all know the quality of my decks is exceptional.
They
And
ship
my
worldwide,
latest Oracle
JD?
deck
What?
will be released in early 2023, so make sure that you get on
JD
the
only
pre-order
ships
list
within
to
the
ensure that
continental
you secure a
US.
copy for yourself and you don't miss out on this. What makes the Below the Surface deck so special is that it not only comes with the
Under
collector's
the
box, the
sea.
cards, the guidebook, but I also created a journal to go along with it so you can document all of your
That's
findings
cool.
as you're using the cards, creating your own readings, and also reading for other people. But you guys, enough talking. Please allow me to introduce you to
Let's
the 4
talk
groups.
more
Group
action.
number 1 corresponds to the Divine Feather
That's what I'm
Messenger
going for,
Oracle
so I don't have
deck,
to
as well
click
as
any
the
buttons.
Lapis
Group number
Lazuli
1 will be right
crystal.
after this.
Group number
This is the
2
first time I've
corresponds
ever
to the
been group
Wild
number
Muse
1, I
Oracle
think.
deck, as well as the Rose
Usually I'm like
Quartz
3 or
crystal.
4.
Group number 3 corresponds to the Shamanic Medicine Oracle deck,
Shimona.
as well as the Citrine crystal. And group number 4 corresponds to the Pink Pain Tarot deck, as well as the Carnelian crystal. But the timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section.
Nice.
That way you've got quick and easy access, even from your mobile devices. Just click the timestamp and you'll be fast forwarded to the relevant part of this video to receive your readings. So I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a little more time to meditate on the 4 groups. And I'll be right back to guide you into your love story.
Isn't that the name of a movie? Love Story? I think so.
So by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups in order to receive the first part of your love story prediction. I will be starting off your psychic readings with group 1, which corresponds to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle and the Lapis Lazuli. So if this is a group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my
It is.
beautiful
I'm number
groups,
1.
as well as signs of the zodiac, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your love story reading. You chose the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck, as well as the Lapis Lazuli crystal. Let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the gorgeous Lapis
Extreme
Lazuli.
close-up.
This is a crystal that can be used to calm your nervous system, as well as just give you that quiet but very powerful confidence about yourself. Now let's move into your reading, shall we? You chose this deck, and right off the bat we can see here that we've got a peacock represented within this feather, in case you didn't know. So the peacock stands for an inherent wisdom that's emerging at this time. So I see that your love story is one that's going to come from a place of maturity and experience that you've gained along the way. The peacock shows me a lot of self-confidence, a lot of self-belief, and overall a love story that is going to be with someone who makes you feel as though there's nothing you cannot do. So I definitely see here that your love story is rooted
king of the
in
world.
confidence. It's rooted in finally getting to know yourself and understanding what you need from love and avoiding anyone who calls you high maintenance, group number one. Avoid
Definitely not high
who
maintenance.
is committed to saying that you're expecting too much, and instead finding someone who will show you that it actually wasn't much all along. Okay, so not settling for any type of bare minimum love or bare minimum love story, and not feeling any way about it if you encounter people along the way who try to make you feel as though you expect too much of life. You've got one life to
Nothing wrong with
live,
that.
one love life to play out. You might as well do it big, group
Go
number
hard or
one.
go home.
Next up, we've got truth. So I do see here that your love story is all about being real, being honest, being truthful. I can see that your love story is going to play out with someone whom you can talk to about absolutely anything and everything. I see that your partner is going to be very truthful, and that is an attribute that is a non-negotiable for you, group number one. That is something that is so important, and they're going to be very honest with you about their dating history and also any type of trust issues that they may have struggled with. I see here within Healing Chaos that you're going to be in a love story with someone who has been through quite a tumultuous early stage in their life. So a tumultuous childhood, they have just been through a lot and they've been healing the chaos. Maybe they also had a relationship or a prior marriage. I mean, we have yet to find out all the real details, that was toxic, that just didn't make them feel good. And then finally being with you, everything is different. Everything is based on truth, honesty, loyalty, and also being together in a healthy way, right? Healing any chaos and any type of difficult friction and toxic emotions and patterns that may have been surrounding the relationship. I see here within the Temperance card that your love story is one that's going to play out in a way that is slow but super sweet. Now, the Temperance card is a card that shows us
I am
a
pretty
lot
sweet.
of balance. It shows us health and just a combination of infatuation and just taking like one sip at a time and enjoying every stage of your love story. I see that your love story is one that's going to unfold in a way that's maybe slower than you want it to, but it's better for the long run, group number one. Let me tell you why. A lot of love stories that are whirlwind romances that happen very quickly, where things progress in a way that you barely even realize how quickly you're moving forward. All of a sudden, you're talking every day, you're on the phone for hours every night, you're moving in together, you're getting married, you're having children. You know, a lot of these things can happen very quickly. But when you draw them out and when you create balance between your personal life, your family, and also discovering yourself, that often creates a love story that can last a lifetime. That creates a love story where you actually work on fixing your issues that you have individually, but also things that may cause some friction within the relationship. So the Temperance card is definitely a very positive card. It speaks to your maturity and your wisdom and the fact that maybe you've already experienced some situationships and whirlwind romances, and you're kind of moving on from that, group number one. You want something more steady and stable. Next up, we've got the Magician. Now, the Magician is the first card of the Tarot, group one. And the Magician is a card of leadership. This is a card that shows making the first move. So I can definitely see here that your love story is going to be with someone who has great leadership qualities. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what their job may be as well, group number one. In the Magician, we see that they're not afraid to be the one initiating change. They're not afraid to put themselves out there and take action. They're a very powerful person. And once they're focused on something, they can't get their mind off it, and they are definitely going to do everything in their power in order to accomplish greatness. I can see here that the person who is involved in your love story is someone whose purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. So children may be a part of this love story just in general, okay, so children in this relationship, but I do see here that there is a great chance that your person will end up working with children or already works with children. And they're a very inspiring individual. I see that in connectivity to the magician and healing chaos. They didn't have the easiest time growing up themselves, so they want to leave a lasting positive impact on the next generation and also their own children or children that you might have with this person with whom your love story is playing out with. I see here within flowers that they also love to garden. They love to just be in the nature, to be outdoors. And I see here that your love story is going to be with someone who loves bringing you flowers. Okay, this person loves to surprise you with roses, with tulips, with lilies. You get the idea, group number one. And I see that this is just a part of romance in this relationship that you're meant to be in. Next up, we've got the Tower. Now, in the Tower, I can see that in order for your love story to play out, there has to be a fresh beginning and a destruction of some sort of toxic relationship. Now, the Tower can be interpreted as a rather challenging card, but the Tower also means that there is a new beginning after sudden change because something had to be released. There had to be a revelation. Breakups are never easy. It doesn't matter how toxic or bad the person was for you, group number one. It's never easy to let go, and sometimes there can be feelings of shame when you know that someone isn't good for you or has mistreated you, but you still don't want to let them go. That is the type of sense that I get here within the Tower that you're both going through, and that kind of makes your bond even stronger in your love story because you have been through some situations that weren't easy with lovers, with family members, maybe at your work as well. And this person with whom your love story is going to play out with, they have been in very difficult situations romantically. And in the Tower, you both had to kind of start from scratch with each other, but also bring the lessons that you learned from the past along so that you can make your love story work, so that you can not repeat any unhelpful patterns and any unhelpful habits. Next up, we've got talk to your angels, group one. So I can see here that instead of worrying, just ask for divine guidance. Have you asked, group number one, often when we're in difficult situations or we want love in our life and we just don't know how to get it, where to get it from, and we kind of remain in our heads, but have you just given it a minute at night before bed to just talk to your angels, to talk to your guides, whether you believe in angels, the universe, any other type of spiritual or religious teaching, it doesn't matter, but you have to ask. You have to put your want and your need and your wishes out there. If not, the universe will never know that this is something that you desire, that you're ready for love, that you're ready for your love story to play out. I see here within the author that another thing about your love story is that your love story is a wildly adventurous kind of connection. And it's going to be so interesting and intricate that you could write a whole book about it. That's one thing that I see here with
I've already got a
author.
book in
And you
mind.
may actually
Another book,
go
maybe
on
multiple
in
books.
a couple of years and decades, group one, to write a book that is based on your love story, that is based on your personal life, because there's just so much going on. It's so interesting. There's so many little details that seem too crazy to be true, but it is your reality.
It
Group number
is,
one.
it
I
is.
see here within the Firefly that your love story is going to play out with someone who stands out. This is someone who doesn't stand out because they always want to do the biggest or the most of anything. So they don't stand out because it's important for them, for example, to have an expensive car or an expensive watch or expensive clothing or anything like that. They just stand out by being themselves. They stand out by being in their energy, in their divine feminine or divine masculine energy. And I see here within the camel that when they enter a room, people can tell that this is someone who isn't joking around. They aren't kidding around. They are an authoritative type of person. So that also makes a lot of sense why we had the magician for you, group number one, because they are truly the type of person who is a leader, a CEO in a managerial role. And I see with the Firefly
Not the
and
first
the
time
camel
she's
that
mentioned
they don't
this.
need to try. That's just naturally who they are. They're naturally inclined to make waves energetically when they enter a space, and they're naturally inclined to be seen as a leader, but in a very non-threatening type of way. They don't need to exert power in order to show that they've got authority. It just kind of comes with the territory. And I see here within the dragonfly that they love to pay attention to detail when it comes to their clothing. So
Oh
their
boy.
clothing will never have any like lint on it. It will never have any dirt or any marks or scuffs or anything like
Whoops.
that. They're a very detail oriented type of
That was just
person.
recently.
I can see that your love story will play out with someone who understands the importance of their looks, as in like presenting themselves in a clean way. They're not a shallow person, but they understand that it does make a difference whether you show up looking clean and put together or whether you show up like you just rolled out of bed. I see here within the golden egg that your love story will play out with someone who is truly one in a million. You know how a lot of people think they'll never find someone again, even when they're in a relationship with someone who isn't treating them well? Well, group number one, when it comes to your love story, you've actually found a good one. You've actually found the golden egg. You found someone who won't be so easy to replace, and you know that, but because you've done so much work on yourself, you are not entering this relationship with fear. You're not in this relationship constantly afraid that they're going to leave you or that something's going to happen. You've got a lot of confidence. That's what I see here within the golden egg. But I also see with the golden egg and children that should you have children in your love story, they will definitely be the types that are leaders. They will take after your partner and they will make a difference in society. I see here within the funnel that when it comes to your love story, there are lessons to be learned after a period of frustration. And I do see here with the tower that this has a lot to do with just learning lessons, right? Growing pains that you're both going through. And I see here within the tank card that once you've gone through relationships that weren't meant to be, you and your romantic partner with whom your love story will play out, there's just celebration, there's fun, there's enjoyment, there's a good time, and all you really want to do is spend time with the person who you know is the one, the person with whom you're meant to be with forever. So let's move further into your prediction, group number one. I want to figure out more about their zodiac, about their age. So we've got the descendant. I can see here that they're the type of person who has this authoritative vibe, but at the same time, they're not very old. That's one thing that I see here within the descendant. They're still young enough for them to be able to navigate spaces with you without anyone thinking like, oh, this person is so much older. I wonder how they met or why
I do
they're
like them
together.
young,
So that's one thing
but
that I
not
can
too
see
young
here.
though.
Next up, we've got the south node. I can see that your person is someone who has a more conservative kind of style and approach. Looks wise, we spoke about how they don't have to have any fancy clothes or anything that kind of like puts them in a different social or economic echelon. They're not like that, but I see here in the south node that they definitely like clothing that is a little bit more conservative, that's a little bit more old-fashioned, put together. Things like button-up shirts, ties, and pants that aren't ripped. All of those types of things is what I see here within the south node, because that's just how they feel the most comfortable. Within the 8th house, I want you to know that they're the type of person who's all about transformation, and they're very mysterious to most people. The 8th house actually astrologically corresponds to the sign of Scorpio. Not to be all geeky or anything, group number one, but this is also a card that represents personal transformation and growth. So your person is always thinking of ways how they can better themselves, how they can become more successful, how they can do more in their life. Personal development is so important to them, and they definitely have some important Scorpio placements within their birth chart. So think their moon or their rising sign. Next up, we've got the trine and sextile. So one thing that I can see here is that your love story is one in which you grow together. We've got symbiosis, okay? One hand washes the other. That's the type of philosophy that your love story holds and carries. That's the type of vibe and energy that your love story brings to the table. So there's a lot of equality here. While your person may be able to provide for a whole family, they don't want you to give up your dreams just in order for you to, for example, raise children or anything like that. They're very forward thinking, and they want to encourage you to do what you want to do, professionally speaking. Next up, we've got the 7th house, which is the house of relationships, and the 7th house is actually the house that corresponds to Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus. Group
That's
number one. I
me,
hope
Libra.
that wasn't too much to take in. So The seventh house, let's come back to the basics. The seventh house is all about balance. It's all about finding a relationship that works in the long term, that is healthy. So I see that your love story is definitely going to play out favorably when it comes to health in a relationship. And I do also see here that chores are going to be balanced. As this card corresponds to Libra, I want you to know that your person has Libra placements. They may be a Libra in their sun sign, for example. And the seventh house is also a symbol of marriage, okay, a long-term partnership. So your love story is most likely just going to play out with one person, group number one, and it's most likely going to be a love story that is very long-term, where you're with someone for the rest of your life, you're with someone until your last moments, and it's just overall marriage and a partnership that is very devoted, where you're focused on longevity and not just one person doing all the work or constantly being in a space of kind of making the other person feel wanted or needed. It's a mutually beneficial thing. Next up, we've got the first house. Now, the first house is the house of being. It is the house of your identity, of your body. I see here in connectivity to the first house, which astrologically corresponds to Aries, that physical appearance and physical health is an important part of your relationship and of your love story, okay? And I want you to know that being fit for a long time is what your love story strives to be, is what your love story kind of craves to have, because I definitely see here that physical attraction and being able to travel the world in the long term is one of the main things that's important within your love story. So last but not least, we've got Virgo for you. Now, group number one within Virgo, I can definitely see that when it comes to their zodiac, they are this earth sign that is practical, that is reliable, that is loyal. In case you didn't know, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Virgo is someone who's very detail-oriented. They're very service-minded. They always want to do things for you. It's important for them to be of value. They're not someone who is self-centered. They're a very humble type of person, group number one. And I do see here that your love story is going to thrive with Virgo, because Virgo doesn't put their needs above everyone else's. This fits beautifully with what we spoke about them having a dress style that is a little bit more conservative and old-fashioned, but not in a way that stands out weirdly, if that makes any sense. Not in a way that feels like they're trying very hard. It just effortlessly flows, and they just seem like a very elegant, put-together person. That goes together with Virgo so well. Also, the fact that they're so service-minded and they work with children and they're in a leadership role where they can make the best of a company or their own business, that makes so much sense with Virgo. They're detail-oriented, they think in the long term, and they cherish what they have rather than always wanting something new, and rather than having, shiny object syndrome where they're constantly just drawn to new flashy things. So this is also someone who will not step out of the relationship. Any type of infidelity is highly unlikely here with this person and within your love story.
That's always good.
Virgo. So group one, this is part one of your prediction that I received for you. If you made it all the way to the end, make sure that you leave a little flower emoji below.
Flower emoji! I keep forgetting to do that. Sorry, Vanessa.
But now we're going to get into your zodiac signs portion of your love story, where we will talk about what letters are in their name, when you'll meet them, where you'll meet them, and how you will meet them. So we'll go even more into detail about this Virgo,
matches the last one
she did for us. Is going to play out with, and all of the other details that you need to know, group number one. So scroll down into the description box or to the top of the comment section, and I will catch you at...
Alright, where's Libra? 2, 4, Libra, Gemini, Cancer, Virgo, Libra.
Your love story.
Of course, ads right as soon as you click on it.
Love story prediction. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of your
reading. Did. It was very good as always, Vanessa.
Libra, very good. And we'll get into more details about your love story, like when you will meet your person, letters within their name, and any additional information.
We should just keep adding all the other letters from the other ones.
So I do
Get the
see
full
here
name
on my
eventually.
gorgeous Libras that you are very patient when it
So
comes
kind.
to solidifying your love story. You're not going to rush into anything, as I do see here
Only
within
fools
protection
rush
that it's
in.
important for you to ensure that you protect your heart and that this love story really plays out the way it should, because you know that you've got something good going with this person. You're willing to be patient, you're willing to be open-minded, and I see here within power that the reason you're doing that is because you know that there lies a lot of power in giving things time and in allowing people to reveal who they are to you rather than to just make up a story of who you think they are. Because I think a lot of times we can make up these stories in our heads of who we wish that people were. We're only looking at their best traits, the traits that we think make them the perfect partner, but you're looking at the whole picture, the entirety of this person and the connection, and you see that that's basically the best thing you could do when it comes to your love story, because it really allows for people to show their true colors and you'll believe them the first time. Next up, we've got June as well as July. So you're most likely going to meet your person during some hot summer months, my gorgeous Libra babies.
Hot summer action.
With June and July, that the likelihood
That's
is
usually when I
really
shave.
high for you to meet them during a time where you can be outside, where the nature is a part of your love story, and it just overall starts off very organically. I want to also add some dates for you so we can figure out exactly when that is. So Spirit, let us know when Libra is going to begin their love story. Okay, we've got the number 10 as well as the number 7 for you. So there is the number 10.
My lucky number, 10 and 7.
As well as the number 7. So think to yourself, 10th of June, 7th of June, 10th of July, 7th of July. These are important numbers when it comes to when you will meet your person. But let's move further into your predictions, shall we? So we can figure out more.
June 10th, June 7th, July 10th, July 7th.
So we've got the 10-90 ratio. The 10-90 ratio represents the fact that 10% of life is what happens to you, and 90% is how you react to it, really. Indeed. So that is what I see here within the 10-90 ratio.
Learned that the hard way the last few years.
Furthermore, my gorgeous Libra babies, I also want you to understand with the 10-90 ratio that you may be going through a time where you could react in a challenging manner. You could react in a manner that just makes things worse, but you're not doing so. And I see here that you're going to meet them during a time where someone confesses something to you that you absolutely did not expect. So it could be, for example, a friend or a family member who's going through some health challenges, and you could react by breaking down, by being sad, by crying, but actually what's happening here is you understand you have to protect your peace, you have to protect the person's sanity who is going through this difficult time, you have to be supportive of them. So rather than jumping to reacting in an impulsive way, you're actually going to be here for this other person. And that just gives you a lot of this inner steadiness and inner power during a time where you will also meet your next lover that your love story is going to play out with. So you'll already feel really strong and empowered when your love story begins. I see here within animals that your love story is going to have some sort of connection and communication with animals. So adopting an animal with your person, maybe they already have animals or you already have animals in your life that are important to you. Maybe you work with animals. Either way, they play an important role. And I see here that you are going to meet your person with whom your love story will play out with during a time where you're traveling, where you're not at home, where you're in a space that is different, that is new, that is unknown to you.
All the same.
And where you're traveling in a work-related sense as well, all of my beautiful Libras. So you're going to find that meeting this person away from your comfort zone is actually a really great place to meet them in, because it puts you on like neutral grounds, if you will, and it takes your head away a little bit from what we've got in the 10-90 ratio and confessions, where you're thinking a lot about someone who you love who just is going through a tough and challenging time when it comes to their health and their life. I see here within the 3 of Pentacles that your love story is going to start off as a collaborative effort to accomplish something together. So it could be a work project, for example. It could also be helping a good cause that has to do with animals. And then all of a sudden you start to realize, like, hey, this person is actually someone who I want to be with. This person is actually someone that I really like, romantically speaking. And the King of Pentacles shows us more of this kind of work energy, of this effort that's put into the earthly realms, that's put into anything that has to do with finances, anything that has to do with a business and sustainability of a business as well. And I see that what you will like about your love story and your person is the fact that they are great when it comes to managing business relationships and when it comes to managing finances. That shows you that the relationship has a real shot at longevity. So I want to add some letters of their name into the reading as well, my beautiful Libras, so we can figure out really precisely with whom your love story is going to play out with. So we have a rune that popped out, which is the rune I, as well as a Y. Let's see what else we've got. Let's add another rune into the mix. Spirit, let us know exactly who Libra is meant to be with. Okay, we've got Y again. So Y seems to be a very important part of their name. This is a very unique name that I can see here. And just the letter I and Y, they sound very similar. So that is what we've got here. Why, gorgeous Libras. I want to see if there's any additional information that you're meant to receive about your love story. So we've got the crow. I see here within the crow that your love story is going to be filled with nice gifts. I see that your person is definitely going to make an effort to give you things that you like, materially speaking. And I see here within the bear that your love story is going to play out with someone who's very chill, someone who likes to take their time, someone who doesn't like stress or gossip or any type of difficulty.
Nobody likes
in a romantic relationship. They really just want peace. And your love story is going to play out in a sense where it starts off in a more platonic sense, or at least that's what you're both telling yourselves, and then it kind of progresses into a romantic love story and situation. So all of my beautiful Libra babies, make sure that you leave a little bear emoji below in the comment section.
Bear, I'll remember that one.
That you were here, that you received the second part of your love story prediction, and that you enjoyed it.
I am a bear.
Don't forget any tarot, oracle decks, personal readings, all of that stuff can be found on my website, as well as my crystal jewelry. It is also linked in the description box, ready for you to peruse through, to check out. I have an amazing blog as well as free downloadables on there too. So make sure that you make use of both. I spent a lot of time and love and effort.
I will check that out. I haven't checked it out yet, but I definitely will.
You're purchasing something or you just want to read the blog, get free downloadables, and learn something new, support yourself.
I've already learned so much in all her readings so far.
Thank you for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions.
Thanks again, Vanessa. All right, that's it for this reading from Vanessa. Another great job. Going to be cleaning up a bit and then going live with Cousin Steve. Gonna do a live with his video later. And I don't know what time it is now, but I don't have a watch on, so going to clean up a bit, change shirts, and be back with live with Cousin Steve. Should be good. He made an extra long one so I could do a live with him, so I'm looking forward to checking that out right now.